Welcome to 502 Sessions. I'm Brian Kirby. My guest today is the Americana band Blame the Whiskey. Founded by vocalist Rebecca Burke and guitarist, vocalist, songwriter David Alex-Barton, who is formerly of the punk band The Outlets, and bassist Stephen Gilligan from the legendary band The Stompers, they perform all original Americana music. Originally conceived as an acoustic trio, as the band took off, they added Dave Hoitt on drums. They have a unique and distinctive sound, and they're comfortable playing in small acoustic rooms and large electric venues. Blame the Whiskey.
The summer is full of, then consider me your lover. You're the one I'm thinking of. There will never be another. There's every road and every highway, and every town that I pass through, yeah. Every path that I have walked on has been leading me to you. Oh, Caroline, I've dreamed of you 1,000 times. Oh, Caroline, tonight I'm gonna make you mine. So just lay your love on me, because darling, I adore you. You're all I'll ever need, like no one I've known before. And we can ride off in the sun, and we can beat this world together. Let me take you in my arms, just for always and forever. Oh, Caroline, you're deep inside this heart of mine. Oh, Caroline, a million ways, a million times.
It's the way you touch, it's the way you kiss. The closer you are, baby, the weaker I get. You bring me to my knees. You got the power over me. No matter where you are, no matter where you go, I'm under your command, baby, under your control. You got me begging you, please. You got the power over me.
say that love knows what to do. That's how I found you. Stoke the flame, heal the pain. Girl, I'm smiling again. Tired of love, ride the moon. The sun goes down, I dream of you. Stay the night, stay the night with me. Hold you tight, honey, let it be. Stay the night, stay the night with me. And I won't tire in the least. No, I won't need to sleep. 'Cause girl, your kiss is like a song. Sing it all night long. 'Cause I have fallen deep, and that's a secret I keep. Stay the night with me. Keep our love on the lock and key. Stay the night with me. Tired of love, ride the moon. The sun goes down, I dream of you. Stay the night with me. Hold you tight, honey, let it be. Stay the night, stay the night with me. Stay the night with me. Keep our love on the lock and key. Stay the night with me. They say that love knows what to do. That's how I found you.
502 Sessions. I'm here with Rebecca Burke of Blame the Whiskey. Blame the Whiskey is my guest today. All original Americana music. Rebecca, how are you?
Great. Thanks
And-
for having us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming in. My first question is, I usually ask people this, define Americana. Is that something specific for you guys?
Well, for us, it means we can't define what we are, so we just call ourselves Americana.
Oh, all right.
But it's a mix of blues, country, a little bit of rock and roll mixed in there. So we have our own sort of sound, and we just felt like of all the genres, that's the one that fit the best for us.
And without giving me too much specific information, how long have you been a musician?
I've been singing since I was 12. and
Professionally?
Not professionally. I started doing my first professional show in college, so a long time. I won't give dates
That's
on
okay.
that.
Are you a trained, when you say college, are you a trained musician? You
I went to school for theater.
Okay. Musical theater?
I wanted to go into musical theater, but realized I needed a paycheck.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a limited opportunities, I
I
guess.
picked up guitar about 6 years ago.
Oh, yeah, and going from musical theater to guitar singer-songwriter, good move.
Yeah, much better options there.
Well, all the coffee houses and whatnot, I imagine.
That's true.
Is that what you did?
No, I'm awful at guitar.
Oh.
But luckily, I've been in bands that have great musicians, which is great. So, and most of them have encouraged me to play along a few songs with them, which is also great.
So your instrument is your voice.
Exactly.
And when you did musical, I did music myself, so it's a performance degree. musical theater, there's a lot more involved in that than just the music. So I did theory and ear training and composition and all that.
All of that.
What's the deal? What is musical theater?
Yeah, well, there's dance classes. There's other classes for performing on stage and singing and dancing. You have to have sort of a little bit more involved than just getting up and acting on stage. So you have to be able to act, sing, and dance as well.
And when you're doing the singing part, is it all the music, like I just said, theory, ear training, and composition, or is it just mostly focused on performance of singing?
You're asking me to go in my Wayback Machine,
no,
but
no.
it's mostly on performances, yeah.
And so singing, acting, and dancing,
Yep.
that's all rolled in there.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. So where did Blame the Whiskey come from? So David Alex-Barton was in a punk band.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Gilligan's in the Stompers.
Yep.
Dave Hoitt's from San Francisco, from, I forget the name of the band. But
Rug Doctor.
Rug
He's
Doctor.
from the area, and he moved to San Francisco and came back. So I knew all of the guys. I knew them individually. They didn't know each other before
okay.
we were formed.
So were you in bands with each one of them?
I was in a band with Stephen called Swamp Yankees. It was another country band. And I've known Stephen for several years. I've also known David Alex-Barton for several years. And he and I had always talked about doing an acoustic. Started out as a duo. We wanted to do a project together, but with his schedule and my schedule, we didn't really have a lot of time. So for some strange reason, the stars aligned, and we were able to find the time. And he suggested we get an acoustic bass player, so we brought on Stephen for that. And we sounded really good acoustically.
Yeah, so what happened? That's interesting.
I'll tell you what happened.
Oh, okay.
So we brought on Dave Hoitt, and he played cajon like you've never seen. I mean, you are not missing anything. It sounds like a full kit. And we started out playing some acoustic gigs. And then one day, Stephen shows up with a 5-string electric bass. And so then David started playing an electric Gretsch, and then all of a sudden Dave Hoitt wanted to play the full kit, and then we became electric. So I haven't seen many of those acoustic instruments a lot lately, although they are coming back. We have a few songs where David will play acoustic.
Wow, so it just kind of happened spontaneously.
Yeah, yes.
Did it change the writing at all, or did you just take the songs and perform them?
No, every song we do, we can perform acoustically, which is really, really cool. And they sound great both ways. Some of them actually sound better acoustically.
Is this your only group that you found? I mean, have you been, what I mean is, you've been singing for a long time. Have you done a lot of original bands? Have you done cover bands for weddings and stuff?
Cover. I've mostly always been cover. This is the first band that I've been in where we've done original songs. So I'm thrilled about that. I love that. We can take, a song and make it our own. And if we make a mistake, nobody knows.
So how is that different? You're not going to a wedding to do Sunshine of My Love. No, I'm sorry. You Are the Sunshine of My Life. Sorry. Right? So that's a cover tune you learn from the record.
Yeah.
So when you do an original song that David Alex-Barton writes and he brings it into the group, how do you find your voice for that? Because you can kind of copy the record. Well, everybody expects to hear the record on a cover band.
Yeah.
But now this is you. Does David Alex-Barton say, Rebecca, I want you to do this? Are you free to do it? How do you find your place in the song? Yeah.
Right. That's a really good question. David, first of all, he's brilliant. He writes really great songs. And what he'll do is he creates these demos that have harmonies and all the instruments on them, and he'll send them out to the band to take a listen to for us to learn. And we will start out with that as sort of our bass line. But eventually we start adding little pieces of ourselves to the songs. And he's been great about that, letting us sort of find our own place within the song. So.
When you get the demo and then you go to rehearsal, is everybody free to comment or say, I heard that, but I don't like it, I'd like to do this, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we talk to each other. We have our own sort of opinion. I mean, he's very passionate about what he does, so we try to stay close to what he's written originally. But if we, feel passionate as well, that we want to change something around, we will. We'll ask him.
I've heard the word passionate twice, so there must have been some passionate discussions over things.
It's funny.
No.
Maybe a few times. We are a band, and
It's
bands
my
are like
job to get to the
families.
dirt.
You're not going to get any dirt with us.
Okay.
It isn't. We love each other so much, and we have so much fun playing together and creating all these great new tunes together. So I wish I could tell you something.
No, that's fine.
But I don't have anything.
I'm not disappointed.
All right.
You sang lead on, what was the name of that song?
Power of Me.
Power Over Me.
Power Over Me.
And it's like a classic rock.
Yeah, that's a cool song.
And then also, I hope I don't offend anybody, but it seemed like it also kind of went into a little of West Coast surfer rock for this.
A little bit, yes, you're right.
So
yeah.
is that,
That's our little style.
so you say, the song comes in that way and say, I'm thinking this concept for this tune. We'll get a little bit of classic rock, or classic blues tune, a straight blues form, maybe a little ventures built in there.
Actually, that was all David. So he came up with the flow and how that whole song came about.
And he came to you and said, Rebecca, I want you to do lead on this one?
Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
so he wrote a song for you.
Well, that particular song he had written a long time ago for another female singer. So,
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. But I sing it now, make it mine.
Okay.
So he brought that one to me. But he brings songs that he's written for me to sing specifically. He wrote a beautiful song. We're not doing today, but Small Town Southern Girl, which really is close to home to me because I am from the South. So
I find it interesting that he wrote the song with another female vocalist in mind. And then he said, oh, let's do it in this band too. And he bothered to tell you that, as opposed to coming and saying, oh, Rebecca, here's a song I wrote for you, which I think that's very admirable, I must say, to be up front and say, this was someone else's, but you can have it now.
no, I don't mind it. I'll sing anything he writes.
No, I understand that. It's
Yeah.
just,
We're all having fun. It's all about having fun and making music and doing this as long as we possibly can. There's no issues at all if I sing somebody else's song. I have no problem at all.
well, I didn't want to get too deep on it, so I'm just making a comment. The first tune, Oh Caroline, now you didn't write that tune. David
No.
wrote that.
There's a kind of an interesting story about that song.
Well, so that's one of my questions is, I can wait for David for that, or you want to speak on that?
I'll speak on it.
Okay, so Caroline, that sounds a little personal. So is it a fictional story? Is it a mixture of everything? Or?
So he wrote this song, and he had most of the chorus written, and most of it written. And we were at a gig one night, and someone came up and requested "Sweet Caroline," and he didn't have the name of the song yet. And so Stephen and I were off in a corner trying to figure out what key is it and who's going to sing it. And I pulled the lyrics up on my phone, and we're trying to figure
Sweet
out how
Caroline,
to play.
yeah.
And so we were trying to figure this out, and I see David, he's just sitting at a table, he's not really engaged in any of this, and he's thinking things through. So we never ended up doing the song, but that night he went home and wrote, Oh Caroline. That seemed to be what was needed for the song, the name for the song.
So that kind of lilt, the song was there, but that lilt was to the...
That was what was needed to finish off the song, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Rebecca Burke is here from Blame the Whiskey on 502 Sessions. How about some more music?
Great.
All righty. Let's hear some. Thank you.
All right.
Now I don't need no healing. I got that whiskey grenadine. And that old time rockin' feeling to shake the blues in me. We got born on the bayou. One more, hey, Ohio. One more, hey, Ohio. One more, hey, I had some coin in my pocket, and I got loving on my mind. padded room. Come on now, baby, say you love me, do. Down the highway, we can take a chance or two. Just one more and I'll go. One more, hey, oh, how.
One more, hey, oh, how. One more, hey, oh, how.
Give me one more, hey, oh, how.
One more, hey, oh, how.
Give me one more before I go.
One more, hey, oh,
Give me one more, hey, oh, how.
one more, hey, oh,
Give me one more before I go.
one more, hey, oh,
Got whiskey and the sorrow. One more, hey, oh, how.
one more, hey, oh,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Sweet man. Now over the hill, just across that county line, there's a rockin' little ball with a 2-for-1 strawberry wine. A big crazy, got to go ahead of the time. Hey, we're gonna shake, we're gonna rock our life on the boogie. Gonna hold on tight, we got rhythm out on the floor. We throw the hands up, can't ignore that pretty little country girl. Ain't no time no more. My head will turn 'cause things don't ever change. She'll soon be breaking hearts and taking names. She can't help it, driving those boys insane. Hey, shake, she's gonna rock all night on the boogie. Gonna hold on tight, she got a rhythm out on the floor. She throws her hands up, can't ignore that pretty little country girl. Ain't no time no more. Now she won't tell her mama 'cause her mama don't have to know. Gonna take a little ride in the country boy GTO. Gonna find out how fast that badass goes. Hey, she gonna shake, she gonna rock all night on the boogie. Gonna hold on tight, she got a rhythm out on the floor. She throws her hands up, can't ignore that pretty little country girl. Ain't no child no more. Shake, gonna rock all night on the boogie. Gonna hold on tight, she got a rhythm
a pack of cigarettes lying on your back, and you say you need a lover. You come each time you call. Clean the house, cook the meals, and don't complain at all. Say you're looking for someone to satisfy your needs like your mama used to do. But honey, that ain't me. I'm free. Honey, you can't change me. I'm free. I can't put a chain on me. Can't put a chain on me. Now, I don't need your granny's phonies or condom ring. And that old box of DVDs, it don't mean a thing. I got my cheap sunglasses and my purple high heel shoes, and I sure in hell don't need you, darling, tell me what to do. So I'll just take that 45 and hide your fishing holes, and grab the keys to your pickup truck, and out the door I go. I'm free. Honey, you can't change me. I'm free. Can't put a chain on me. Can't put a chain on me. Woo! Riding down the highway, it don't matter where I end up with who I'm with. As long as you're not there, free. Honey, you can't change me. I'm free. Can't put a chain on me. 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 Can't put a chain on me.
502 Sessions, I'm back with Blame the Whiskey, Rebecca Burke, Stephen Gilligan on bass, David Alex-Barton on guitar and vocals, and Dave Hoitt on drums, and everybody sings. All right, now everybody's on set now, so let's talk a little more writing. Writing, composition. Yeah.
Yes, I understand a little bit of it.
So you, David Alex-Barton, do you prefer to be called David Alex-Barton, or
I
is
do.
it David?
I
or-
do,
Okay,
because
so it's always the three.
it's always the three.
Okay.
Sounds more important than two.
Okay, so David Alex-Barton, if I may.
Yes, sir.
Little Country Girl, what was the name of that tune?
Pretty Little Country Girl? Yes.
Pretty Little Country Girl. Is that a fictional tune? Is that something biographical, or is it some story you
You
heard?
know, I go to this bar called Loretta's in town, and in town, that is in Boston town. And they, Sunday and Tuesday nights, they have line dancing. And I've been going there for years. And I'm usually at the bar just drinking and looking. And that's how I
you mean.
came up with the idea for that tune.
But looking, you mean you're watching.
Watching, right,
Right.
watching.
Looking is a...
Looking is what? No, I'm not doing that. I've been known
You're
to
getting
dance a
off-
little too, but
No.
I don't really do that anymore. So,
So you came up with the name at the bar.
well, I thought
Watch.
it was a great little scene, and like there's all these dancers, and it just reminded me of a tune. I said, well, why not? There's one of the drinking, partying. It's one of the categories of country tunes. Even though it's got a little blues running through it too. So I wanted to do like an old country blues kind of thing. So.
And So when you're writing a tune like that, the title came first and you wrote a song around
I
it?
always write the title first.
No kidding. And then that actually kind of dictates the
Yes,
song.
and every verse I try to, I wanted to relate back to the title, which is important to me. So.
When you're writing a song like that, it sounds like the entire story comes first. So the story, then the story, then the melody and the
Yeah,
chord.
usually I have an idea. Well, I might have like a melody or a riff or something that I'm working on, and I've got all these riffs in my head and everything, and I pull things from different places. But, I usually like I said, I like to start with the title, and that's an easy story, because if you can go into a place like that, Loretta's, and you see people partying, and the story kind of flows. You just, it's part of life. If it's real, it's easier to write.
Did you write like that in the punk band too?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I picked little, but it wouldn't be like Pretty Little Country Girl is like specific to one place and one time, and other tunes might be, you might pick a little story from this day or this week or this month or this year, and you'd put it together and like that kind of thing.
So let's talk about the band as a whole now. So all of you come from a variety of musical backgrounds, but this is your own personal project. Although I imagine the punk band was your personal project, right?
Yes, it
And the
was,
Stompers is your personal project. Sorry, I guess I got that wrong then. So this one project, though, how did you settle on this style of music? So if you're coming from punk, you're coming from the Stompers, you're coming from the West Coast, Rug Doctors.
As you've noticed, we play a few different styles of music, and we really like that. Like, we like to be able to pick, being in like an Americana type band, we can pick a little blues, some country, and I like all styles of music. I love it. I even played it when I was a kid, all different styles. And I appreciated all different styles too. And now we get to do it. We're old and we
So you
have
do what
fun.
you want to do.
Yeah, we're doing what we want to do. That's exactly right. And people seem to like it, so we're having fun, and the clubs are doing well, and
Yeah, I guess you have to put some kind of name on it, right? Some kind of like Americana, or you're a country band, or you're a blues band. So but Americana, I guess it's whatever you want to do, right?
That's right.
So you go from, let's see, Pretty Little Country Girl to Don't Put Chains on Me, which is kind of an interesting, back to back, there's this Pretty Little Country Girl, and then it sounds like the tide has changed a little bit here. So where's that come from?
But don't. Well, she sings it well, though, doesn't she?
Yeah.
It was, I wrote that for a female vocalist to sing, and it's just, I love the idea of it. She's belting out that chorus, and it works. That's another one of the, it's a bluesy country kind of thing too, similar to Pretty Little Country Girl, that's the style that I like a lot.
So you definitely like to tell a story with music as the background.
Oh yes, that one tells a little story all the way. Especially in country. Country, there's always, beginning, I woke up, I did this, somebody came over, we went here. It's a little story, and that one is certainly a story. Can't put a chin on me.
And you enjoy singing that, Rebecca?
I do.
It's right up her alley.
I have a little sass to me, so he works that in to songs for me.
So have you been, when you bring a story like that, did you modify that at all, or did it work right away? This is my tune.
No, I actually tried to change one word in that song, and he wouldn't let me.
I rejected that word, didn't I?
One word?
No,
Because of the
I think
flow
you did
and
change a couple little things.
Maybe 2 words.
Okay.
But but that was fine.
Well, you're free,
I can be a little persnickety
He
about those
can.
things.
Well, you're free to change it after the rehearsal, though, during the performance.
I can do whatever I want during the performance.
That's right.
So Stephen, let me ask you a question. David, you wrote most of these tunes, but you're a songwriter yourself.
Yes,
you can
I
go
am.
ahead and hold the microphone.
Yeah. Oh,
But you have a song coming up, right?
I do. Yeah.
And this
first
is
song. The next one we're going to play is "What's a Little Rock and Roll Between Friends."
all right. So do you write in a similar fashion? It's a story first, then it's.
It's definitely a story. I'd like to say it's a true story, and I imagine for somebody it is. But you'll have to find out when you hear it.
So you like to say it's a true story.
Yeah, it's not my story.
Well,
although I wrote it.
But it's his story to tell.
It is my story to tell.
It probably is a true story. So almost everything has happened, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
So what's the story behind the story then? Or you just wanted to write a good song?
Yeah, I
And
was
hopefully this is
playing
one.
with a rock and roll riff. That's all.
Oh, I see.
Coming from the band I've been in for 40 years and whatever, which is a real straight ahead rock and roll band.
Is that the Stompers?
Yeah, and I was not a songwriter in that band, but I learned a lot about songwriting from the guy whose band it is, and this was kind of like, okay, I got to see if I can do this too.
And when you say you're working around a riff, on bass, or you picked up a
No,
guitar?
I play guitar and mandolin and a whole bunch of instruments.
Oh, okay. So you have multiple this is your project again. I know we talked about this first, but you have multiple projects.
Oh yeah.
You can all do cover bands. You must have a book of, what, 1,000 tunes if somebody calls for a wedding or something. And do you find yourselves working mostly club dates for the Blame the Whiskey, or do you get into private events? I don't mean get into, but
we do some private events. We have a 4th of July type event we are going to be doing this year, which is a lot of fun. It's all of the folks at the Hobby Knolls farm down in Duxbury who come out to all of our shows. So we're going to be playing their 4th of July party, which will be a lot of fun. But mostly it's all clubs for us. We're fine with that. We'll play any club. We play mostly in the South Shore, but we'll travel, so we'll go anywhere.
So have you found that over the years, the enthusiasm in the crowd has waned a little bit with the 2-drink limit? I'm just kidding. Don't answer that question.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm just
we
kidding.
have more than 2 drinks.
I'm just kidding. Okay, so moving on from there. So if people want to reach out to the band, how do they find you? You're all very busy, so I suppose someone can just look up Stephen Gilligan, bassist, and they'll get Stephen Gilligan, bassist.
And they'll find Blame the Whiskey that way, but
Yep, so we have a website, blamethewhiskey.com. We list all of our shows and our contact information there. We have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com, Blame the Whiskey Band. We have a few dates available through 2019, but we are pretty busy.
Yeah.
And we love that. So, and we're open to any new venues. Just we'll figure something out. Just let us know, yeah.
All righty. Blame the Whiskey on 502 Sessions. Let's hear What's a Little Rock and Roll Between Friends. Yeah. All right. Blame the Whiskey.
I went to see my baby on the other side of town. It took me nearly 40 minutes to thumb a pickup down. Well, they drive me out, I knocked on the door. She opened up and asked me,
What are you here for?
well, you got a car, I got some money, let's put them both together and we'll lose it, honey. Say, now what's a little rock and roll between friends? We did a little drinking up at Maggie's Grill. A buddy of mine asked her if she would dance, and she said,
I surely will. Well, he grabbed my hand, but then he grabbed my ass.
I knocked over the table shouting, not so fast. Well, he looked at my fist, I looked at his face. We had a little laugh and then we trashed the place. Ha ha, what's a little rock and roll between friends? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Now I woke up Sunday morning under the county seat. The sheriff, he poked me with a stick and asked me if I wanted to eat. When I opened my eyes and I saw his smile, I figured that I might be sleeping there for a while. Well, the judge and the jury gave me half a year, but the boys in lockup say you're nothing to fear. What's a little rock and roll between friends? I say, now what's a little rock and roll between friends? Or tell me what's a little rock and roll between friends? Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Wake me up dead of night. Call me baby, that's alright. Open up your back screen door. Give me your sweet love once more. Love me, baby, I got my black and long. One more whiskey, one more wine, one more choke on it, one more line. Roll away, baby, I got my black and long. Love me, baby, I got my black and long. We can party, have fun, long as your mind don't come. Kiss me, baby, I got my black and long. Take off your high shoes, pink lace gown, black bone too. Shake it up, pull it down. Ain't no way, honey, stop us now. Love me, baby, I got my black and my own. Rock me, baby, I got my black and my own. We can party, I will stay, long as your mind's away. Kiss me, baby, I got my black and my own. Love me, baby, I got my black and my own. Call me, baby, that's alright. Open up your back screen door. Give me your sweet love once more. Baby, I got my black and on. Kiss me, baby, I got my black and on. We can party, have some fun, long as your mind don't come. Love me, baby, I got my black and on. Rock me, baby, I got my black and on. I got my black and on, baby. I got my black and on. I got my black and bow. I got my black and bow, 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 yeah. Oh, little big dog, mama.
Ah! 502 Sessions, my guest today has been Blame the Whiskey, Stephen Gilligan, vocals, songwriting, bass, Rebecca Burke on vocals, and attempted songwriting corrections. David Alex-Barton, lead vocals, guitar, and songwriting, and Dave Hoitt on drums. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. 502 Sessions is all about original music, so if you're a musician and you're in a band or a solo act or anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm at 502sessions@gmail.com. It's all original music, and I don't discriminate against styles. I check out emails and I listen to links. Thank you.
Thank you.
Play us out.
Sure.
Blame the Whiskey.
Start line, my aim is true. Gonna let you fly, 'cause my set on you. When you're dreaming and when tomorrow comes, just remember that the tide of love will never be undone. Oh, just you and me. Take a little chance or two, make a little love. Honey, gonna steal your heart, try a little tenderness, play a little love song that you like best. It's the way you smile, the way you kiss, pretty little honeybee, oh little sweet on stars align. My aim is true, gonna let the arrow fly, 'cause my heart's set on you. When you're dreaming and when tomorrow comes, just remember that the ties of love will never be undone. Honey, I was all alone, I was feeling blue, getting hard to hold, till I met you, that you brought me back from my broken past, and the power of love will make it last. I wanna love you right, I wanna hold you close, all the little charm you got is what I need most, and it feels so good. I'm on the man, pretty little honeybee, got a little chance to save the night. I love you more, you got the kind of love that I've been looking for. New day rising, I'm burning like the sun. Just remember that the tide of love will never be undone. Never be undone. Never be undone. Never be undone. Stars align, my aim is true, gonna let the arrow fly, 'cause my heart's set on you. When you're dreaming and when tomorrow comes, just remember that the ties of love will never be undone. Save the night, I love you more, you got the kind of love that I've been looking for. New day rising, I'm burning like the sun. Just remember that the ties of love will never be undone. Never be undone. Never be undone. Never be the summer is full on, then consider me your lover. You're the one I'm thinking of. There will never be another. 'Cause every road and every highway and every town that I pass through, yeah, every path that I have walked on has been leading me to you. Oh, Caroline, I've dreamed of you 1,000 times. Oh, Caroline, tonight I'm gonna make you mine. So just lay your love on me, because darling, I adore you. You're all I'll ever need, like no one I've known before. And we can ride off in the sun.